devotee. He was a disciple of Srila Jiva Goswami. He's one of the 3 first book distributors who ever went out to take the Goswami literatures all across Bengal. And Srivasacharya had thousands and thousands of disciples, and he was a avid student and follower of the Goswamis. It's amazing, this song, because it gives a very concise biography of the Goswamis. And he talks about how they chanted and danced. They followed in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Premamritam Bonidi Dhira Dhira Jana Priyo Priyakaro Nirmatsaro Pujito Sri Chaitanya. So this song is something that Prabhupada sang a lot, and he also advocated that we sing it too. He said that it brings a sense of devotion and natural sense of detachment from the world by hearing about the Goswamis. So you have it on Verse Circle, or you have it somewhere else?
You have it on
From Verse Circle?
We just circulated the link, not from the Verse Circle actually.
You don't like Verse Circle?
No, I should have done that. I just sent them the bhajan names actually. I didn't.
Okay. We do that to
Website called versecircle.com, and you can also follow the verse. It's very easy to follow the songs there.
Hey, maybe you show it to me too, just in case.
Sure.
Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Premamritam Bonidi. Is that too low? Huh? Let's go up just a little bit. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Premamritam Bonidi. Nartana Paro Premamritam Bonidi. Dhira Dhira Jana Preyo Priyakaro Nirmatsaro Pujito. Means they're non-envious. They had no envy, and they were very dear to them. Shri Chaitanya Kripaparo Bhuvi Bhuro Bharavahantarako. Anderu Pasanatano Radhiyado Shri Jiva Gopalako. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Saddharma Samstapako. They compiled all the Vedic relevant shastras to establish the path. Lokanamitakadano Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro. They give mercy to everybody in the universe. They're worth taking shelter of. Radha Krishna Padara Vinda Bhajana Nandena Mataliko. Always engaged in the bliss of worshiping Radha and Krishna. Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako. Gauranga Gunarna Varnana Vido Shraddha Samriddhyan Vito. Apotapanikrindano Madhurima Govinda Ganamritai. Anandam Burivardhanaika Nipuno Kaivalya Nistarako. Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako. Shri Jiva Gopalako. Chatvakunamashesha Mandalapati Shrenam Satashushava. Vadina Ganesha Ko Karunaya Kaupina Kantashrito. Pavara Samritabdi Lahari Kalola Magno Mahu. Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyago Shri Jiva Gopalako. Jatko Kilaham Satara Sakana Kinye Mayura Kule. Nana Ratna Vitaramula Vitapa Shri Yukta Vrindavane. Radha Krishna Mahanisham Prabhavato Jivartato Yamuda. Vande Rupa Sanatano Shatyanta Dino Chayo Radha Krishna Gunasmite Madhurima Landena Mataliko Madhurima Landena Mataliko Banderu Pasanatanu Raghuyado Shiva Gopalako Radha Kunda Tate Kalinda Tanaya Tire Shabam Shivate Mon Mara Bashara Shesharataya Grasso Pramato Sada Gayanto Chakadahare Rupuram Baba Viputo Muda Banderu Pasanatanu Raghuyado Shiva Gopalato Hey Radhe Vrajadevate Chalalite Hey Nanda Suno Kutaha Govardhana Kalpa Parapatale Kalindi Vanye Kutaha Goshanta Bhakti Sarvato Vrajapure Keder Mahavivalo Banderu Pasanatano Raghuyado Shiva Gopalako one more time. Banderu Pasanatano Raghuyado Shiva Gopalako You too. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Listen once. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, part two. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare one more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gopremanande Haribo. This Shad Goswami Ashtakam. Chakvaturnam Shesha Mandalapati Shrenim Sada Tuchavad. Bhutvadina Ganesha Ko Korunaya Ko Pina Kanta Shrito. Gopi Bhava, because they were engaged in chanting, dancing, and experiencing love for Krishna, they just renounced the world. Tyakvaturnam Shesha Mandalapati. Well, it's great to be here on a Thursday night, Wednesday night. At least I know it's 2026, right? And we offer our respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to Shishi Gornitai, to all the assembled devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhave evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. So first I'd like to see if you have any questions, because questions are the answer. When you ask questions, you can go far. I'll just take a water break while you're thinking about it. Oh, I thought he was raising his hand. He's just fixing the camera. Yes.
On Sunday you gave a morning class where you were talking about, you gave that verse, the purport from the Light of Bhagavad.
Yes.
Where it talks about, at some point when you least expect it, the result will come.
Yeah, Prabhupada said it'll come of its own force. Yeah.
I was thinking about the idea, like you could be in Krishna consciousness for many, many years but not feel anything, and that purport seems to suggest we'll carry on anyway. And I guess the question that was in my mind was, how long can you carry on without taste?
Well, I just would challenge your premise to start with. I mean, most people feel something. And about taste, in a class in Los Angeles, Prabhupada stopped the class halfway through and he said, I come here every day and you come here every day, and I say many of the same things every day. He said, yet you still come every day. He said, this means you have taste, because you like to come and hear. And if we have an appreciation for anything, it's a kind of taste. We really have to think about what it means. I mean, just the very lifestyle of Krishna consciousness is tasty. The way we have association, clean association. Most people don't know how to associate without having some kind of intoxication. It's the norm. When I was on the flight over here too, I slept most of the way because we left at 7 p.m. from San Francisco. We were in the air, I just went to sleep, woke up in London. And the flight attendant said to me, coffee, you want coffee? And I said, no, I don't want coffee. And she said, but you just woke up. I just realized it's stuck in my head because it's the norm. Everyone has to have some stimulation, but we have kirtan and we have the aesthetic beauty of Krishna consciousness, the deities. So speak of the prasadam, the festivals, the kind of association we have. If you spend any time in Vrindavan, it's outrageous fun. I was just there for Holi. God, what a festival. On the Ekadashi of Holi, I had to walk all the way down to the Jamuna because I had ashes from two of my godbrothers to commit to commit to the Jamuna. So I went down there, got on a boat with a few god siblings, and we had to go through that whole crowd, throwing all the colors and everything. And when I got back to California, I was thinking, where's all the people? Where's all the colors? There's no fun over here. No animals. We have all that. It's a very tasty process, Krishna consciousness. What speak if you do any kind of outreach? Like we've been around London. Where did we go? We went door to door with a bunch of kids. About 60 kids. We went out knocking on doors in the rain. Now, if that isn't fun, I don't know what is. It was fantastic fun. And then we did book distribution on the Ox. And that was outrageous fun. And we went to Watford, and we went down to Cardiff, did book distribution down there. If you watch the video, somebody videotaped me down there. I was showing one of my godbrothers yesterday, and we were just enjoying like anything. I mean, Krishna consciousness, you enjoy like anything. The material world, you just get into a kind of trance. There's screens to look at and intoxication, but it's happiness that's short-lived. It comes and goes. But Krishna consciousness is very uplifting. So it's susukam kartamabhyam. It's happiness from beginning to end. If you go in Govardhan Parikram, it's ecstatic, and all you're doing is walking around. If you walk around London, it's maybe not as fun, unless you're distributing books or doing Harinam or something like that. I mean, isn't Harinam fantastic? I mean, going down to the most crowded places in the world and just singing. Who does that? That's fun. It's tasty. And seeing the deities, like the deities, these Gaudiyataya in the other room, you walk in there and you're in another world. If you go to the temple, you travel around to temples and you go see the Lord, that's fun. Krishna consciousness is tasty by nature. It's not hard. I mean, what do? We chant, dance, and feast. I used to be a hardcore yogi when I was in high school. And I thought you had to fast and mat your hair and go barefoot. And then I got a Back to Guided magazine. It said, chanting, dancing, feasting. I said, put me down for that one. That's all we do, chant, dance, and feast. And we were just reading on the way over here. You carry these books. The small Bhagavatam's easy to carry, so you keep it with you wherever you go. Any of you have these, the small ones? How many of you have them? Okay. Anybody who doesn't see me afterwards? Yeah, so I have this system. I see these two flags. One flag's the starting gate. The other one's where you finish. Any of you race? Any runners? 200 meters, anything like that? You've run a race before, people. Don't you love crossing a finish line somewhere? Like one of those things. That's what you do. You put the marker on here and the number of pages that you do a day. And then, you get started in the morning and you got something to go for. You go for the gate. And I was just driving around with Divyanand Prabhu, and we almost finished my quota for the day. I only have half a verse to go. That's happiness. You hear the Bhagavatam. We've been hearing Bhagavatam everywhere we go. That's blissful. I mean, you don't get anything like this in the material world. People's level of conversation is so boring and mundane. And when you read the Bhagavatam, you got something that'll prick your ears up, and something to digest that's deeply philosophical. It's fantastic. Like we were just reading in here something I thought I should read to you guys, but I can't remember where it is. I mean, it's Krishna talking to Uddhava, so that's an amazing conversation to be in on. So you don't have to wait for taste. And the idea of taste, what does it mean anyway? Everything good comes from worshiping Krishna. From the beginning, to the middle, the end, and there is no end. It just keeps going and getting better. And so you don't have to worry. just be absorbed. And service is great too, isn't it? How many of you have some service that you do on a regular basis? What do you do? Washing? What do you, washing pots? That was my number one favorite service. I did it for 3 months when I joined the temple in San Francisco. And I thought it was a pure samadhi. Do you like it?
Yeah, very much.
Look how happy he is. For washing pots. Because they're the Lord's pots. My temple commander said, the shinier you get them, the shinier your heart will be. I was like, wah, 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 wah. I mean, that's fantastic. Who else has some service? Yeah, what do you do? KC Salt. KC Sock. LSE. 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 I saw LSE. That's a power station down there. What a room full of smart people. I love that. And they're Krishna conscious too. That's a great service. Do you like it?
Yeah.
What's not to like? You know, most people, they're working for, scrounging for a little money or a lot of money. It doesn't matter, a lot, little, they're still unhappy. But you're doing service and you're happy. Who else raised their hand? What do you do? DD dressing and book distribution. That's a really nice combination. You got both ends. You're out there in the rough and tumble, talking to people, and then you come back, purify your body, mind, and you go in on the altar, and you're in the sublime environment. And then, do you take a little prasadam sometime? What do you like? What do you like to eat?
Pretty much everything.
Khitri, you like khitri? Khitri, a little bit of mango pickle, some lime, a little salt, and a papadum. What's better than that? You know, you'd have a little prasadam with some friends. That's fantastic. And somebody might come along and give you a little piece of sandesh. Who sees sweets like that? People are eating Snickers bars. I don't know if you have those over here, do you? What's the famous candy bar over here? Kit Kat? Have Kit Kat, Dairy Milk? It's all garbage. I mean, I don't want to blaspheme or anything, but if you look at sandesh that you get from the manor, give me a break. You know, that's beyond what's fit for kings and queens. It's Krishna's food. We're eating right off his plate. You know, what's not to like in this lifetime? And then you have friends in every direction, wherever you go, who clean and nice and smart, and who like kirtan and like service. That's real life. It's fantastic. So we're all really lucky, because when you're with Krishna, you're living the life. And you don't need much either. It's not like we need much. We just want a little service, a little place to lie down. And little service, little place to lie down. What's missing? Service, little place to lie down, a little prasadam, and Sanjay's your uncle. What else? What else do you want? Do you have any more questions? Okay, let's see what we got here. Topic: comfort over character. Finding strength in our vows. The very word devotee means one who keeps a vow. Devoto, that's where it comes from. It comes same root in Latin, vote. You vote with your feet. And to keep a vow. A devotee is one who keeps a vow. And vows are cool because they open the whole world for you. Raga dvesha vimuktaistu vishain indriyaishchara atmavashera videyatma prasadam adhigachati. You know that verse? Who knows the verse? You should memorize the Gita. 10x it. Have you heard of that? Somebody told me when I was walking out of the temple in Cardiff. He says, "Did you read the book 10x? The 10x mindset?" I looked it up. It's a guy, he said you should be hard charging on everything. Up what you think you can do by 10 times and then try for that. So you should memorize the whole Gita. What do you think? It's only 700 verses. Give me a break. Can you do it? Say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you do it a little at a time. I recommend that you read at least one chapter a day of Gita. And I haven't finished mine yet, but Divyanam Prabhu knows I will before the end of the day, because we do it every day. You have your Gita lined up and you hear the Gita. So vows, you see it starts with a V. V's a wedge. A wedge is one of the most powerful tools known to man, known to mankind, known to humankind, humankind. And it has a small end and then it gets progressively larger. And with vows, you take a vow for something even smaller the better to start with. Something tiny, tiny. Something more than 0 and not less than 1. And then with a little application every day, it opens for you. Raga dvesho vimuktais vishain indriyaishcharan abhavashervateyatma prasadamarigatchati. This is Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, when you take vows and you follow some system, then he said, this is the way to freedom. And we were just reading that in the Bhagavatam, weren't we? Krishna was saying that when you learn to master your senses, then you're a free bird. The only person who has freedom in this world. The devotee who wrote this verse, Kamadinam katina katida palita durnideshas tesham jatamayina karuna natrapanopashanti utsrijaitanata yarupate samprata labda buddhis tamayata sharanam abhayamam nyukshvatmadasya. Says, for how long and how many ways did I obey the bad masters of my senses? They dictated and I, without question, just followed whatever they said. And they never gave me mercy, they never gave me time off, and they never gave me any happiness. But now I've gained my intelligence. I know the secret to life. It's serving Krishna. Now I'm going to turn my attention to serving Krishna. And he says, this is my turnaround in life. So the vows that we take are liberating. And that's what Krishna says. It's paradoxical in this verse. Raga dvesho vimuktaistu vishayan indrayashcharan. When you follow, he calls the regulative principles of freedom. You know the Grahastha Vision Team? Have you ever heard of that? It's an ISKCON product. Grahastha Vision Team. Who's heard of it? Maybe, yeah. Their moniker is strengthening the bonds that free us. Strengthening the bonds that free us. So vows for Krishna, they free us. They're very powerful. And when we practice on a regular basis, start with something that you can do and then realize that by following them, you develop a kind of spiritual integrity. And that gives a sense of stability in life. When you know that you can trust yourself, even behind closed doors when nobody's watching, you're not putting on a show, you're following what you intended to do, and what you know your intelligence tells you is the right thing, then you have a sense of spiritual integrity. What do you think so far? What did you hear so far? Name one thing that stuck in your mind from the very beginning that I said. That's called reflections. Go ahead. Yes, okay, 1, 2, 3. You start.
So you start with the definition of devotee, and that implies someone who takes a vow. So
Yeah. And what's it like to take a vow?
it actually frees you, like you said.
It frees you, and it's a little scary sometimes, isn't it? Have you all ever seen an initiation ceremony? Just say yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you can work with me. I notice when guests come, new people, relatives, they've never seen Hare Krishna. you know, they come in and there's this swaha, but the whole thing, people get up there and they say, I vow I'm going to follow these 4 regular, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no time. People are going, that's fantastic. I wish I could do that. That's an empowered thing to be able to do. And I notice people become interested in, like, how could you do something like that? Not in being aghast, but being attracted. That what a lifestyle. It's kind of amazing that you could follow something. So it changes the whole world. It changes our life when we make vows. Yes, Rasika.
It's similar to what Saga Prabhu said, that ones who have freedom in this world are the devotees.
The what?
The ones that have freedom in this world.
Yeah, we have freedom. When you can control your senses. When you can execute your plan the way you thought. You make a plan and you're able to carry it out because your senses are controlled. There's a real sense of happiness in that. And when you can't, so many people are captured by habit loops and they can't get out of them. It's a real problem. I've been working with this, or in dialogue with this person named Judson Brewer, Dr. Judson Brewer. He's from Brown University. And he teaches, he's a neurologist and a psychiatrist. And talking about how his specialty is getting free from addiction. And he said most people he knows are addicted to something. In Krishna consciousness, we get addicted to Krishna and Krishna activities. There was one more. Somebody had a reflection. 1, 2, 3, I counted. Yes, Prabhu.
I just remembered what you said about the vows being a wedge, and how they open up something else.
That's right. In fact, we made up something. It goes like this. Your pledge is your wedge. When you make a pledge for something, that it opens a new chapter in your life when you make a vow for something. And about comfort, just noticing that it's not all it's cracked up to be. Human beings are meant for prayer. They're meant for sacrifice. Sacrifice comes from the word sacred. And sacrifice means to do something for a superior person, to make a sacrifice. And in the Gita, Krishna talks about how this is where all abundance and happiness comes from in life. Human life. Jagnartat kamano nyatra loko yam karma bandhana. Tadartam karma konteya mukta sangha. Yeah, we get to know each other well. You can finish my sentences. Samachara. So in this verse, Krishna gives the key to happiness in life. He says, by performing sacrifice, then you'll live abundantly in this life, and at the end you'll attain liberation by sacrifice. It's counterintuitive. Much of especially Western culture, we drive around and it's almost like you're driving around in your living room. You get such a fancy car. Especially those Suburbans, you know. How you doing back there? You know, everyone's like on like couches, driving around, air conditioning. You got TVs, you want a snack. You know, you're just going from A to B. But everyone wants to stay in the comfort zone. But it's actually uncomfortable in the comfort zone. But when you do service, wash pots, you make some vow, you notice that you're more comfortable when you're outside your comfort zone. And when you get outside your comfort zone, you're doing something for a higher purpose, you actually feel satisfied and happy. Whereas when you're trying to get comfortable, you never quite can be comfortable, because if you're comfortable now, you know it's going to be over soon, and you're going to be uncomfortable. It's the material world in general. What else? Reflections, thoughts, and the ultimate is questions. Yes, Prabhu.
It's a question.
Yeah.
What to do when we can't follow a vow or break a vow?
What should you do if you make a vow and you accidentally break it? Accidentally or on purpose? What? Accidentally on purpose? Okay. Both of you? Bhagavad Pran, you know the verse?
I'm forgetting the meaning.
Okay. Swapada mulam bhajata priyasya tyaktanya bhavasya hari prayeshaha. It means that devotees, anyone who's following Krishna consciousness is very dear to me, Krishna is saying. And vikarma yachchot patitam katanchit. Somehow or other, katanchit, if somebody does some vikarma, you know karma, akarma, vikarma. Vikarma means you blew it. You did something really bad. So, misstep, vikarma. Vikarma, dunoti. Where have you heard this word before? I want you to give me a verse that has dunoti in it. But you're excluded. Okay. Shrinvatam swakata Krishna Hridyantak still hibadrani. Very good. Vidunoti refers to Krishna as the one who's within your heart, who helps you to overcome any of the bad habits that you develop, or to recover from any kind of misstep that you make in this world. Dunoti, incidentally, is a technology from agriculture. And there's a system where the agriculturalists who want to clean cotton stretch cords until they're taut. T-O-U-T. T-A-U-T. Stretched tight. And then they put the unclean cotton on top, they vibrate it, and because of the vibration, all the impurity in the cotton falls through onto the ground, and what you get on the top is clean cotton. So a vidunoti is someone who sorts out all the stuff that's impure from your heart, and that's Krishna. Vidunoti surit, and he's your best friend, satam. For the sincere person, he does all that. So this verse, Krishna says in the Bhagavatam, Supada mulam bhajata priyasya tyaktanya bhavasa hari pariyeshaha vikarmayachchot patitam katanchit dunoti sarvam hridi sanivishtaha. That if you accidentally, on purpose, fall down from your vow, then Krishna says the antidote, or the way to recover, is to pick up again and start doing devotional service wherever you can, because he's within the heart and he'll help you recover. He'll help you to overcome whatever reaction there was, because he said anybody who's doing devotional service is very dear to me. So we shouldn't take advantage of the good graces, but the fact is that there is no other system of recovery except for going on and doing devotional service, because it's the most powerful. Thanks for asking such an important question. You want to tell me the topic again? It's, who made the topic? What were you thinking when you made the topic? Maybe you can explain it a little bit more, like what you're hoping to hear, and I'll try to accommodate.
I think a large part was this question, and what you kind of started off with in terms of the wedge. I think especially for many of us in the UK, we're in a situation where we're just naturally very comfortable. We don't have many austerities, and therefore the vows we take are just the bare minimum of austerity in our lives. So just wondering how that, like, why take them, and how that can, as you describe with the wedge, open the doors for Krishna, but then more than that, how to also stick by them.
I see.
It's a difficulty, but also when times are good, I guess.
Yeah, thank you very much for explaining. Well, first of all, I think that, as I mentioned earlier, austerities are fun, and making sacrifices naturally satisfying. It's how the world works. When you make a sacrifice, the right kind of sacrifice means you do something for a higher cause. In any realm, even in the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about how you should always think of him. If you can't always think of him, you should practice, do Vaidhi Bhakti, and try to think of him. And if you can't do that, then you should sacrifice some of your wealth to help spread Krishna consciousness. And then he said, if you can't do that, just try to volunteer for something. You know this section of the Gita? Say yes.
Yes.
Because then you can make up for it later. He says then just try to be charitable, because by giving we grow. When we do something beyond our self-interest for a higher cause, we naturally feel satisfied. That's why people around holiday time, they say it's better to give than receive. There was some researchers who did a study in Canada. They asked 52,000 students, is it better to give or receive? 85% of them said better to give. It's kind of a natural thing. So if we get a taste, it's a good idea to get a taste for making, if we use terminology that sounds intimidating, like sacrifice, sometimes that sounds like human sacrifice, or austerity. As I always said in the beginning, it's not very austere what we do. It's actually kind of fun, so it's kind of doesn't seem fair to other people because we have so much fun. But in any case, it's a good idea to volunteer oneself to do something that pushes you a little bit beyond your comfort zone. I find that that's the best way to improve myself, is to do things that push me. So I make goals every year that I think will stretch me more. Otherwise, life's not that fun unless you go in for something that's a little intense, don't you think?
Yes.
And in Krishna consciousness, there are so many things that you can do to offer things in service, and you can take a little vow. So how can you keep vows? One thing is by good association. If you're around people who are doing the same things, that are doing something that is for their improvement, and so they're keeping a vow to improve themselves. So it's true in any discipline, isn't it?
Yes.
Say yes.
Yes.
Because, I mean, why do people form societies and organizations? So like-minded people who are trying to achieve something, they come together. What's a university for? They put everybody under the same roof, and you do a lot of austerities there, right? In school? Say yes. So then if you just do things for Krishna, it's the same thing. Maybe ask more about the spirit of it. Yeah? Can you say more?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Say more. Say or ask more. Try to ask me more penetrating questions. Yes?
I wanted to ask a question. What's the difference between making a vow and conducting an action every day versus just conducting the action every day without making
Without the vow?
without-
Oh boy, it's a different universe in one way. Because as soon as you make the vow, then there's a thunderbolt that goes through the universe. And when you make a vow, for instance, Goethe, you know the German philosopher, Goethe? He talked about how there's a way in which when you make the vow, behind it comes all the power and the ability to carry it out. And once you vow to do something, and then you have to think about how to do it, that's when all the power comes. I'll give you an anecdote from Krishna consciousness. Shall I?
Yes.
Okay. So two of my godbrothers, Rameshwar Prabhu and Radha Ballava, they were in charge of the BBT in Los Angeles, which in the early days was the main BBT for the whole world. And Prabhupada had come there in 1975 to New Dwarka. Anybody been there? You're all invited. You want to come?
Yes.
We'll have a huge mela out there. Come out there and then come up to ISV. We'll have Harinam over the Bay Area, and we'll take you around to all the sites. You're all invited. Come on out. It's nice and sunny. Yeah, so Prabhupada came there, and he went on his morning walk, as usual, at Venice Beach. And during that time, he said he wanted the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita produced within 2 months. And at that time, the BBT had just moved there to Los Angeles. It was already there, but everybody, all the artists and many other people were starting to move out there to LA so they could centralize it, and they were upgrading all the technology in order to go faster. So they thought they were really going fast, and they were really doing great. And so they were telling Prabhupada all how great they were doing. And Prabhupada said, I want the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita in 2 months. And Rameshwar, the head of the BBT at that time, he said, but Prabhupada, that's impossible. And Prabhupada said, impossible is a word used in a fool's dictionary. And then he walked on. And Rameshwar told me this. I wrote it in my book. He stopped and he said it really was impossible. But he just stood there still thinking, I have to follow what Prabhupada said. So as soon as he resolved within himself and he said, okay, I'll do it, that's when he started getting all these ideas about how he could do it. And he and Radhaballabha then, they both said, okay, we're going to do it, even though it's impossible. And that's when all the energy came and it started flowing into their minds. They caught up with Prabhupada and said, we can do it. But here's what we need these concessions in order to make it happen in 2 months. And they did it in 2 months. It was an impossible task. My point is that when you make the vow, then Krishna responds by giving you the intelligence how to do it. We have this saying we came up with during the pandemic. Remember the pandemic? It was in 2020 it started, or probably a little before that. 2019, it was, percolating. And we had made a vow to distribute at least 10,000 sets of Bhagavatams worldwide for 2020. I made that vow in 2019 in Tirupati at the midterm GBC meetings in front of the deities, because we had done worldwide 7,000 in 2018 and 7,000, or a little less than 7,000 in 2019, and I was really disturbed by that. I hate plateaus. So then I said, we got to get to 10,000. And just then the pandemic started. And I started calling people around the world saying, we got this goal, 10,000. And a lot of people saying it's impossible. And I remember that incident at the beach. Where Prabhupada said it's not, that's in a fool's dictionary. And everything's possible. And we kept talking about it. And then we came up with this battle cry. You want to hear the battle cry?
Yes.
Okay, only 7 people said yes. Everybody else cover your ears really hard. This battle cry will change your life, though. When you adopt this, then you'll be unstoppable. But we've run out of time and I got to go, so. Assume it can be done. Say it.
Assume it can be done.
Yeah. And when people started making the vow that they would do it a certain amount. Now, that's it. I'll talk about the vow more. As I would meet with people and say, I found there's a huge difference between people that say, we'll do the best we can, and here's the number we're going to hit. There is a universe of difference between those two things. And so when I'd sit down at the table with people or over Zoom or whatever, I'd say, you got to pick a number and write it down. And the number has to be something more than 0 and not less than 1. But as soon as you put a 1 on the page, see, that's the tip. That's when you get all the inspiration to do it, and not before. It's a well-known principle. So vows are very powerful, because once you make them, once you take a stand and you put the number and you say, this is how many times I'm going to do it, and that's in the song we sang at the beginning. the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, Sankhya Purvaka Nama Gana Nativi Kala Vasani Krito. So they counted everything they did, they marked it down. You have any, everyone has a bead bag, right? Say yes. Okay, now, do you have counter beads on your bead bag? What's the difference between chanting with counter beads and chanting without? What? It's counting, right? But have you ever seen anybody chanting without counter beads? You think they're CIA? Because they don't know what they're doing. I mean, everybody's got counter beads. Why? Because if you don't have counter beads and you just chant every day, I guarantee you're not going to keep 16 rounds. You won't even know if you did 16 rounds or not, right? So making vows, challenging yourself, something more than 0, not less than 1, you put it on paper. That's what makes life exciting, is you put it down and you say, I'm gonna make this vow. And then when you keep the vow, then you're a devoto or a devotee, which means a vow keeper. And when you keep vows, that's how you make progress in life. Personally, you have this sense of, I can control my senses enough to do this. And you have a reason to do it, because if you have reasons to move forward and try to achieve something, and you make a vow to do it, then life becomes exciting. How'd you like to go to a university where it's open-ended? They don't give you a diploma at the end. How'd you like one where they don't give you any grades? What do you think? You know, when you measure it, it gets interesting. Okay? Yes?
I'm wondering that as you play the role of a guru, how does it impact you as a guru when your disciples break vows? Because we read or we hear about the guru takes some negative, like the physical health issues, for example. Just wondering from your perspective, how does that?
Yeah, well, from my perspective, it's very emotional service, because I have deep connections with a lot of people, and they mean a lot to me. And when I see them doing well, then I feel happy. When I see them struggling, then I also become concerned. And so this the idea of, you know, like a guru takes on the karma of a disciple. My realization, I'll tell you, is because if they're struggling or suffering, then I struggle and suffer in a way, because I worry for them, and I also am concerned about helping them do better. And if things happen to those people where they lose faith or they lose altitude in their practice of Krishna consciousness, then there's quite a bit of mental consternation. I guess that's the only kind of consternation there is mental, right? So I'll strike that from the record. I'll just say consternation and not mental consternation. There's a lot of consternation. And Prabhupada used to say that those who have disciples who misbehave, then there could be some bad dreams. And that a person gets that. I have weird dreams all the time. Because you're connected, really, to when you're connected to people spiritually and emotionally, then don't you suffer when they suffer, or go through a lot what they go through? If you have somebody you really love or you're really connected to, like your mom, and your mom goes through something, you feel it. You know, we have deep connections to people. That's one thing about being a living entity. We're sentient. We feel. We have senses. So for me, it's like that. That's the understanding, or that's my experience. Did that help? Okay. Thanks for asking. What else? Yes.
Raj, we see with this whole vows thing, after a while, not everyone, but most people, they seem to suffer. So you see even our leaders sometimes breaking vows, or even if it's not breaking vows, it's watching TV, doing, you know, so in the beginning there's all this enthusiasm to follow vows, but after 10, 20 years, if nothing happens, then you know, you kind of become casual about it. What's the thing that's missing?
Chanting Hare Krishna, usually. If you chant Hare Krishna, then Krishna's right there with you all the time. You have to keep chanting. Even when we were just out on Sankirtan these last few days, and I had a horde of devotees. Oh, that's nice. What is that from? That's a mela or something, right? I like that. Yeah, I had a bunch of devotees that were, when I go out to distribute books, then I'm supposed to show people how to do it, and I'm praying to Krishna to show me how to do it. And let's see, what point was I making?
You keep on
Oh yeah, and I was just telling them, I told the kids when we were going door to door, and you know, we get to the door, and they're sort of, some of them are fidgety and whatever, and I said, just keep chanting. And then they, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And also, when you go door to door, you knock on the door. I hope nobody's over here. and then you don't know what's going to happen. So you just go, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And we were out on the ox. Is that how you call it? I was working the ox. That's what they told me in Cardiff. They said, oh, you work the ox. So, yeah, Oxford Street, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And in our lives, every day, if you chant Hare Krishna, then everything becomes it becomes transformed. It becomes spiritualized. So you have to fear the fade in any discipline. If you're doing a discipline like learning to play the harmonium, of course, you're probably born playing the harmonium, but for the rest of us, you know, you have to practice. You ever go to a teacher and then, you know, you go back and they say, do you have any questions? And you go, I don't have any questions. He goes, you didn't practice. Otherwise you'd have questions. So we have to continue chanting Hare Krishna. That's the main thing. Because it's perfect. It's a perfect process. Krishna is fully present in his name. And when you chant Hare Krishna, you become enlivened. So fear the fade. Fade means that you stop doing it. And this is what Rupa Goswami says. Be careful of this. He calls it niyamagraha. It has two meanings, niyamagraha and niyamagraha. So niyamagraha means that you stop doing it. He said, don't stop doing it. Whatever you do, don't stop doing it. But the other part, niyamagraha, means you're doing it, but you're not paying attention. So if you're doing the practice, do the practice. Like, do you play Madunga?
Barely.
Well, did you ever take lessons? Anybody here ever take lessons from Madunga? Say yes. Did you learn Taraketa? When you learn a beat, did your teacher ever tell you to slow down? Yeah. He said, slow down. Just do it right. Do it, you know, hit the drum carefully and don't go faster before you've coordinated yourself to, your hands are coordinated to do it. So if we chant Hare Krishna and we're a little bit careful and reverent when we chant, then you'll just transfer yourself to the spiritual world. It's so powerful. So it's not a plaything, Prabhupada writes that in that purport, going back to Godhead. It's not a plaything. You have to take it seriously. It's like if you want to be good at harmonium, you have to take it seriously. If you want to play the mridanga, you have to take it seriously, right? Otherwise, you'll be mediocre. Nobody likes that. And there's all kinds of things that we do in our life. You have to practice them, keep them up. So in this practice of Bhakti Yoga, you have to chant Hare Krishna. And if you stop chanting Hare Krishna, then immediately you start thinking about the material world and, well, maybe it's not so bad after all. And the other thing that will help you is to read the Bhagavatam. You don't fall into illusion, because Krishna's explanation of the world and how it works and how it doesn't work if you don't approach it properly is so potent that you'll be fortified. So you just you have to do the process. Follow the simple process strictly. You don't have to get too fancy. You just take the simple thing and you follow it really carefully. And if you do, your success is guaranteed. It's not a problem. So people fade away in any practice. And in Krishna consciousness, if you get a little careless and you think, well, maybe I'll do 15 rounds today. And then the next time, you do 13. And next time it's like, well, I know, Dilip, he only chants 12, so I'll chant 12 too, like Dilip. And so next thing, one thing after another, and then he's like, oh, yeah, I can't feel anything anyway. So so you just chant Hare Krishna. It works, and if you're diligent, then success is guaranteed for the rigid practitioner, Prabhupada writes. And just lean into it a little more if you have to. We have this reading we do at Govardhan Hill. I've been going 25 years now to Govardhan Hill for Kartik. And they have this little hideout. You're all invited, by the way. It's fantastic. You should come. We live in an ashram there on the side of the hill. Prasadam is the best in any planet. And we do 6 hours of reading of the Bhagavatam every day. And devotees come from everywhere, and the ones who are experienced in doing it, they know that it's going to transform them. The time when they walk in, and if they can stay for the duration, we do like 3 weeks straight away. They know that they're going to walk away completely different. So take some vows. Like right now, if you take a vow to read Bhagavatam a certain number of pages a day, guarantee you'll be stronger. And chant one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. You know what I like to call it? Get your bhajan on. Get your bhajan on. You got to have a bhajan. Get yourself a ironing table. Do you have one at home? Set it up. Set your ironing table up and put all what you're going to chant. First put your bead bag. Next put the Bhagavatam. Next put the Bhagavad Gita. Line it up on your ironing table right next to where you sleep. And when you wake up in the morning, bead bag, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. It doesn't, if you take a vow to chant a certain amount every day that you won't go below, no matter what happens in the world, that was something that Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj said to his disciples. He said, no matter what, finish your rounds. Even if your life is in danger, you should still finish your rounds. Don't stop. And then read your pages and do your chapter of Gita. And you get your bhajan on, then you have no problem. Does that help? I'm not convinced. Okay, go ahead.
How do you encourage someone or advise someone that's an initiated devotee and they've stopped chanting their 16 rounds, but you don't want to be so, oh look at me, I'm doing it, why can't you do it? You don't want to put them off or come across as too teachery and lectury.
Well, generally I find that devotees, they respond to kind encouragement and understanding. And if you have a sangha that you can invite people to come to, or just invite them for prasadam, because generally most people just need a little bit of loving care. I had a godbrother, one of my closest godbrothers that I grew up with in Krishna consciousness, and he left the practice of Krishna consciousness for 20 years. That's a good chunk. And I kept in touch with him because we had a similar business interest. And also because he was my friend, even though he's completely out there and doing crazy stuff. And one day, this is so long ago, tell you the technology back then. We had both gotten brand new fax machines. And he wanted to test his out, so he called me on the phone and he said, you got to send me something. And all I had on my desk at that time, it was a page I had copied from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that says, anyone who thinks that doing 1 trillion Ashvamedha horse sacrifices at the confluence of the Ganges and Jamuna during the eclipse of a sun is equal to 1 time chanting Hare Krishna is a demon destined to go to hell. I wasn't thinking I'm going to, scare him or something like that. I just put it in the fax machine because the only printed matter I had on my desk. And this is after 20 years. Five days later, I got this 7-page handwritten letter saying, what did I do? I took the greatest jewel and threw it in the gutter. And he made an amazing comeback. He's a fantastic devotee. And so, I know my wife was telling me that one time she was feeling down in her practice of Krishna consciousness in the Los Angeles community. And she had skipped coming to the temple for a week. And one of the devotees, a senior devotee, just got a plate of Mahaprasadam from Rukmini Dwarkadesh, went over to her apartment, knocked on the door. She opened the door and said, here, I brought you this Mahaprasadam, we miss you. And she just left. And she said it totally changed her life. My wife said that. That act of kindness, that somebody cares for me, that can make all the difference in the world. So you can try for that. I mean the thing, send the fax. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, okay, we got to go. So, do you have that other bhajan? I'm going to have to look at it more carefully because...
I can hold it for you.
Do you know this bhajan by Bhaktivinoda Thakur? Nobody tops the Thakur. He's the best. Bhaktivinoda. And Koda Nitai. Koda Nitai, Koda Nitai. Koda Nitai, Koda Nitai. Koda Nitai. Can I have my axe back, please? I love this bhajan. It's about the marketplace of the holy name. It's a haunting tune also. Can find it on Verse Circle now?
Yes, Maharaj.
It might be under
Boro Sukar Kabar Bai, Boro Sukar Kabar Bai. Thank you, I can hold it. Boro Sukar Kabar Gai, Boro Sukar Kabar Gai. Surabi Kunjete Namerha Kuleche Surabi Kunjete Namerha Koda Nitai, Koda Nitai. Koda Nitai, Koda Nitai. Boro Mojar Katatai, Boro Mojar Katatai. Shadamunye Shudanam Sehate Pikai. Koda Nitai, Koda Nitai. Koda Nitai, Koda Nitai. Jata Bhakta Vrindavasi, Jata Bhakta Vrindavasi. Adhikari deke nam deche daro khase. Koda Nitai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Jarinam Kimbebai, Jarinam Kimbebai. Amar Sange Chala Mahajaner Kache Jai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. To me Kimbe Krishna Nam, to me Kimbe Krishna Nam. Dusri loebo ami purna habekam. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Borodoyo Nityananda, Borodoyo Nityananda. Sharamata loiden Parama Ananda. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Ek bar dekle chakche jal, ek bar dekle chakche jal. Gora bole nitai den sakala sambal. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Borodoyal Nityananda, Borodoyal Nityananda. Sharamata loiden Parama Ananda. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Ek bar dekle chaksha jal, ek bar dekle chaksha jal. Is that right? What is it? Okay. Den Shuddha Krishna Shika, Den Shuddha Krishna Shika. Jati dan Vidya Bal Nakore Apeksha. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Amani Chari Maya Jal, Amani Chari Maya Jal. Grihe tako bani tako natake janjal. Kodanitai, Kodanitai. Boy, Aranaiko, Kalir Boy. Achandale Dendam, Gitai Doyamoy. Koda Nikai, Koda Nikai. Koda Nikai, Koda Nikai. Bhakti no Dake Koi, Bhakti no Dake Koi. Nitai Chanana Mina Aranahi Ashoy. Koda Nikai, Koda Nikai. Koda Nikai, Koda Nikai. Keep it going. Koda Nikai, Koda Nikai. I'm singing news of the greatest happiness at the place known as Surabhi Kunj in Sri Navadvip. The marketplace of the holy name has now been opened, and Lord Nityananda himself is the proprietor. Such wonderful things are going on in that blissful marketplace. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is selling the pure holy name wholesale, merely for the price of one's faith. Seeing the assembly of devotees eagerly waiting to purchase the name, Lord Nityananda first examines each of them to test their qualification. Then he sells them the name by bargaining for his price accordingly. Oh, my dear friends, if you really want to buy this pure holy name, then just come along with me, for I am now going to meet with this Nityananda Mahajan. Thus, you will finally be able to acquire the pure holy name. I will also take my due commission, and in this way, all of our desires will be fulfilled. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is so extraordinarily merciful, accepting only one's faith in the holy name. He bestows the topmost divine bliss. When Nitai sees a tear welling in someone's eye upon chanting the name of Gaura, he instantly gives his support to that person. Indeed, he bestows all divine opulences. He gives that person genuine realization of the pure teachings of Sri Krishna as found in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. While displaying all this inconceivable mercy, he pays no attention to one's caste, material wealth, mundane knowledge, or physical ability. Now, dear friends, please reject all of Maya's entangling snares. If you're a householder, then just remain at your home. If you are renounced, then just live in the forest. Either way, nothing more will trouble you. We no longer need to fear the terrible age of quarrel, for the most merciful Lord Nityananda gives the holy name to anyone and everyone, to the lowest, even to the lowest among men. Bhakti Vinod loudly calls out, proclaims to all, other than the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, there is no shelter. Koda Nitai, Koda Nitai. Koda Nitai, Koda Nitai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, You guys are fantastic. You don't even know how good you are. I mean, just the way you sing, the lifestyle you have, you have a lot more power and potential than you even know. Power, potential, basically the same thing. But I just capitalize on what you have. Don't worry who's gone before you, who didn't make it, or who isn't making it now. It's up to you. You have free will. You can do whatever you want with your life. Study the science of Krishna consciousness. All you have to do is read the Bhagavad Gita. It's the most brilliant book in the world. There is nothing better. The thing is, I mean, it's amazing how little you get done when you're not doing something. And it just happens that if you don't chant Hare Krishna, you don't get a taste. And japa is hard work. There's a lot of benign discomfort in doing japa, but it brings you to the highest platform of life. That's why Prabhupada's the only thing he insisted that we make a vow for, besides things to not do, which is common sense. So, just take advantage of your potential, even if you don't have taste. Be consistent. Consistency is much more important than inspiration, because you can use your intelligence for consistency, and you've got that better than anybody. I mean, your pedigree and whatever brought you into this wave of association in this lifetime and the families you're in, it's in the top percentile. So just capitalize on it. Take your potential and go for it. And just all you have to do to go for it, nothing heroic except for be consistent, and you'll be successful. Guaranteed. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, dear Shri Gaur Nitai, dear Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if you so desire, please bless everybody who came to the program tonight. The people who tried to come to the program but got stuck in traffic and couldn't come. Everyone who's part of this Sangha, that they may have this heightened intelligence to take advantage of the sublime process of chanting the holy name of the Lord every day with a fixed vow and doing some service for the Lord. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande Hare Bol. And now, a word from our sponsor.